Good morning, I'm Alan Denker, and I'm here this morning to cover a row unit review with you on this planter. And we're going to start at the frame, and we're going to work down the top through our meter and our drives, and then we're going to come down and we're going to go front to back on the lower half. Very important part of the planter, probably the most important part other than the seed meter itself. We're going to start up here on the frame. I have a level in my hand. If we had this planter outside in a plant position, we're vertically going to check the frame for levelness. We want this frame as level as possible. If anything else, we want it tipped up just a little bit. And we're going to change that with the hitch height on the tractor. As we come on back, we're going to talk about the downforce system just a little bit. We have an airbag downforce system on this unit that is controlled by an air compressor up on the hitch. If you have a late 11 or a 12 planter that has the XP issue or the XP system on it, we also have a wiring harness coming down here that'll have a node and a sensor down here in the mustache. And that's what's going to give you that ride quality reading up in the cab on the 2600, 2630 display. As we're moving back from our drive shaft, we just want to talk a little bit about the chains. Darren covered those outside as far as daily maintenance. But we just want to make sure that the chains and the drive shaft are very well lubricated. We don't have any kinks and binds because it really controls the ride quality of our seed meter, which is very important. Also want to talk about the seed meter just a little bit, the adjustments and everything. But once a year we need to take our new seed and our seed meters to our local dealer, and they need to be recalibrated. This could give you up to 5 or 6 bushels an acre more in seed corn. Or in corn, and very important, very critical part of the planter. Moving on back, when we're checking the chains and drives, make sure we check the insecticide chain as well, and your drive chains on your hydrostat, variable rate drive motor, and or your mechanical transmission. Coming up here to the front of the planter, we want to talk a little bit about the no-till blade and the trash whipper assembly. The trash whippers, we just want them to move the clods and material from before the True V blades, and they can be adjusted. They're pin adjustable up and down. Your no-till coulter, we want it 1/4 inch above the True V opener blade, and it can be adjusted as well up and down in the slot. As we come back here on the opener blade, we want to make sure that the gauge wheel assembly arms are not worn and they're adjusted correctly. When you put this up in a plant position, we just want them to clear the blade about 1/16 of an inch, and you would loosen this bolt and turn this adjusting nut, which would move that in or out. That's how you adjust those. On the disc opener blades themselves, I've taken a business card and put in and marked it. I came up the other direction and marked it, and we want this distance 1.5 to no more than 2 inches of pinch point on these blades. If that needs to be adjusted, we will have to remove the gauge wheel arms, remove the blade, take washers from the outside, move them to the, or from the inside, move them to the outside, which will put them closer together to bring you back to that pinch point. Important that we adjust both sides. Coming back further just a little bit, we want to talk about rotary scrapers. There's several different kinds of rotary scrapers. The new rigid style with a spring between them is probably the best. They keep the material from building up on the inside of the blade. From the seed meter down to the seed trench, this is our flush face seed tube. It's flush faced because the sensor does not protrude into the sensor housing. It is a nice transition from the seed meter to the seed trench. This is actually our sensor on the outside, and as you can see, it does not protrude into the seed tube. Coming back on the back into the row unit here, we have our closing wheel assembly. What we want to do there is we want to take the planter out in the yard, and we want to drop it down and pull it ahead 4 or 5 feet, and we want to make sure that the closing wheel assembly is directly over our True V openers, so that we're getting a good firm closing compression onto that seed so we start the germination process. These closing wheels can be altered. They can be moved forward or backwards to allow the material to flow through. And they can also have a 13-inch or 15-inch spike wheel assembled on one side, which is a benefit because it breaks up the sidewall of the trench and gives a better compaction as far as closing. These frame assemblies, if they're not centered over the True V opener, they can be loosened up here and adjusted and retightened. As we come to the end here, I just want to make a comment. Operators manuals, if you know me, I've been here about 24 years. Operators manuals are very important. Before you make a call, I want you to get out of the tractor, walk around, see what the problem is, maybe look at the operator's manual. And least but not last, safety. Safety glasses are a nuisance, but they're very important. They need to be worn. Anytime you can take safety into mind, it's very important as far as your operation and your family. Thank you.